What's up, everybody? This is Ray. Today is Monday, January 13th, 2020, and I am presenting another video, vlog number 5. So I'm going to make this quick. Try to stick with the 10-minute thing. It seems to work. I don't really have a format for today's video. Really these first few videos are just like an introduction to me and trying to find a style, as well as working on future presentations and things that I want to expand on. So as you know, I was hospitalized and diagnosed with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. And my first time in the hospital was September of 2018, so less than 2 years ago, a little bit over a year. And I must say, it was frightening. I went in by myself. I was fearful of everything. I had no knowledge of anything and how the system worked, even though I do have family in that industry. I just never thought to ask. And what I do want to say is, I walked into the ER in September, walked up to the check-in area, the reception, and they, of course, asked for your ID. I had a copy of that, and asked for a couple of symptoms and things like that, and then they give you new patient paperwork to fill out. At the time, I had to do new patient paperwork because I was a new patient, never been to the hospital before. Filled out the paperwork and was brought to the back area to be checked out. Checked my vitals, blood pressure, height and weight. They put on these diodes to check my heart rate and things like that. I'm not sure what else they were checking for, but they also drew blood. And you don't know me, but I've had a deathly fear of needles for years. Even though in high school I gave blood, and a few other times after that, I have a huge fear of needles. So they were like, okay, we need to draw your blood. And so they did. And I was called a hard stick, which means they had a difficult time finding my veins. And at that time, that was very true. If you hadn't seen in my previous videos, I was 50 pounds lighter than I am today. About 55 pounds lighter than I am today. I am, as of this morning, a biscuit shy of 200 pounds. So I've gained a lot of weight since then. But at the time, I was very skinny and I was dehydrated and they had a hard time finding the veins. So it took a couple of times and I was frustrated, but I'm a very patient person. So as best I could, I tried not to show it. But eventually they found my veins, drew blood, ran labs. Labs came back, and I forget exactly what levels were out of whack. I'll study it to take a look back because it's been a minute, and I've had multiple labs since then. So I only focus on a couple things now that I'm a patient being treated for lupus and RA. I kind of know what I need to look for. But anyway, they treated me for dehydration. They gave me a couple bags of IV fluid. And that was that. And I apologize. I have family in the medical profession, but I really don't know a lot of medical jargon. I took an anatomy and physiology class way back in the day. And I still don't know how I passed that sucker, but I did. Oh, and it just reminds me, somebody who will remain nameless complained about my bed never being made in videos. And I'd just like to say to that person, that's not a me problem. That's a you problem. So anyway, back to being hospitalized. It was scary, and I can't speak for most guys, but from what I hear, most guys are afraid of going to the hospital. And it could be, you know a lot of males in your life that say, well, my leg's still on. As long as I have my arm, if I can walk, I'm good. Or like Chris Rock said in his comedy, put some tussin on it. And I'm here to tell you, that's stupid. But it's funny. I think I felt that way. I was like, I'm invincible. I can deal with it. But I couldn't. I was broken. Not only physically, but emotionally, spiritually, I was broken. And just was at the point where I needed to get help. And others told me, they were like, you need to get help. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I can work. I'm good. I can come in. I can do my thing. I can dance. All this stuff. And in hindsight, that was dumb. manhood. That's a tricky thing, and I still hadn't quite figured that out. I struggle with that daily. What's my role as a man in this world? I know, of course, to be kind, to help others. I know that. But what it means to really be a man in this society is a day-to-day struggle to try to figure that out. But anyway, that's another video for another day. But I survived. At this time, the first hospitalization, I wasn't admitted. But, my second one, of course, which I talked about some extensively, either in a prior video, well, in one of my prior videos, and later on, I'll probably break that into a 3-part series and really break down, all the things I experienced. But, being in a hospital room, you have nurse rotations. They're coming in and out of your room very often. You've got people bringing you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You've got doctors that are coming in, mostly in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, to talk to you what they found. And, throughout the night, in my case, I was getting blood draws constantly. And so I would never sleep, which, if you know me, I don't sleep well as it is, but this was magnified times 2,000 that I was unable to sleep. And it got to the point, being hospitalized for 22 days where, I started to become paranoid. Someone was just going to walk through the door when I got home. So, I went home, was in my own bed. First couple of nights, I kept thinking somebody was going to walk through my door and interrupt my sleep, and it didn't happen. I was just so accustomed to people coming in and out that it was what it was. The other thing is, at that time, I was having a hard time just walking. And so, going to the restroom was a chore, and that was the first time I used a urinal, a bedside urinal. And if you hadn't seen these things, it's like a long cup, kind of squarish, with a round cylinder to do your business in. And I never used one of these things. It was so embarrassing. I remember the first time I saw one, I picked it up. I thought it was an old-time phone. I was like, hello, and nobody answered. So then I realized, after doing a Google search, that it was a urinal. And so I used it. I had multiple urinals, put them on the bedside. The nurse came in, and they had to get a sample sometimes, so they did that, or emptied that out and cleaned it. And I would go days, basically, without even getting out of bed because I had no strength to get out of bed. I was so weak, and it hurt to walk. It was painful. This was when I was first being put on prednisone. And I forgot to mention, but today is a good day because I'm brought down. I'm almost at the lowest prednisone strength that I've been at since being put on this stuff. And I understand that there are adverse side effects. I'm trying to get off it as soon as I can. I've had infusions of Rituxan. Hopefully that's going to help alleviate a lot of the pain that I've experienced from RA. And my labs are looking good. So that's a positive. Energy-wise, I do struggle day to day with that. I'm definitely trying to figure out answers for that. So if you do have advice, please post them below. No Red Bull or no dose or any caffeine pills or anything like that. But just something that's going to help me remain balanced. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about today. Is just being hospitalized and not being fearful. Go in there, bring your cell phone charger, your laptop if you can, change your clothes, change your underwear. In particular, be patient. You're not the only patient, and sometimes your nurse or your doctor is not going to be there exactly when you want them to be, but that's okay because they're going to take care of you. But also be informed. Learn everything you can. And we live in a time, this is a great time because you do have the ability to be able to Google stuff, look up WebMD on some of the terminology that they throw at you. Sometimes they might throw acronyms at you, which I wish they didn't. I wish they would make it more easy to understand. I work in a profession where we use acronyms, but we're also trying to simplify that to be able to just speak a normal language, and it makes things easier to communicate with internal, external customers and things like that, because it should be natural. So anyway, I'm going to end the video now. I really just want to thank you all for taking the time to view this. And if I hadn't said this before, just be kind to each other. The world can seem cruel sometimes, and if we can be the ones to be patient with each other, to be listening to each other, to be understanding, to encourage each other. And sometimes, when necessary, give each other a hard time to make each other laugh. That's going to make things a lot easier. And, to those that know me and know my struggles, thank you for being there to support me. Hope you enjoy these videos. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, dislike it. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, don't subscribe. And I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. You all take care. Peace.